I got an intro. You ready?
What is it? You gotta keep it going.
So, happy Halloween, motherfuckers. We are back. It's been a while. We've had a lot of fucking technical difficulties up to this point. We had a file that we could not release to the world. We had another file that was just basically I had a computer set to a microphone, and it turns out that microphone was an incorrect microphone.
I heard
and
the
nothing,
words you were saying and said,
nothing.
"You stop saying those."
Nothing got recorded, and it was actually what I believe to be a great podcast.
You talk
Ben
about
didn't like
Mozart
it.
having scat, Dylan's belly full of cum.
Ben did not like my belly full of cum, and I blame him for. Does this still work? Woo! You have no idea how long it's taken us to get to this fucking point of recording this podcast. We have a special guest here on the House of the Faded Song podcast. Can we all thank you, Liz?
Hello.
The fuck did you?
Hi, Liz. Welcome. We met formally for the first time last night, and I was dressed as Liz. How did that feel?
It was quite funny.
It was an enjoyable experience. But, hi, Liz. I'm Liz. Hello, me. It's me again.
Damn, we should have played that.
What happened out there?
What'd you do? What'd you do?
Nothing. This bitch just decided they wanted to.
You put
Number
the
one.
metronome on.
Number two.
Number two.
Number 3.
All right, we're back. Sorry, there was a small fuck up right there. That was me moving the computer ever so slightly, and everything just like to eat a bag of dicks. We're back. So, hello, me. It's me again.
You can subdue but never tame me.
Liz,
Yes.
we've brought you on here for a special purpose on this Halloween. Oh, you had a story you were gonna speak?
No, I was just gonna actually introduce her as other than just Liz.
Okay, Ben, take
I
it
don't want
away.
to. I'm shy now.
Take it away.
No, I'm good.
Shy against who? The millions of listeners? You mean all of these people that depend on you? Okay, here, I'll do it for you. Liz bites Ben on the neck. That's all I know.
Oh my god, that was the funniest thing. We walked outside, and I asked my dad, I was like, "Can you move the truck, please?" And he looked at me, he was like, "What'd you say?" I said, "Can you move the truck, please?" He was like, "Okay." Same. And then my mom walked up to me and was like, "Oh, hi, it's you." And then she was like, "What? What's that?" She didn't say anything, but you could see it in her eyes. She was like, "Oh wow." I keep forgetting I have those.
I feel like we've told this on the podcast, but whenever my dad like first met Pipe, he came to where I was at school staying at the time, and he I had hickeys all over my fucking neck, and it was hot as shit. It was the middle of summer, so I was not gonna fucking wear anything but t-shirts. And so I walked out there, I was talking to him, and he's like, "What the hell?" Yeah, there's this. I was like, "You want to meet her?" She's in here, and yeah, they met. That was fun. She just had to awkwardly shake his hand. Yeah.
Hey, that's like almost the same.
He knew it was up. He knew I was down like a clown.
You went down with the clown.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the chocolate starfish.
I was doing insane clown posse, but go off. Go off with your Limp Bizkit.
I've got you, Queen. Well, it is gonna be our Halloween
It's
special.
a Halloween spooktacular.
Whoa.
What?
Now,
What, Dylan?
Now you're not so shy. Dusty bitch. Anyways, go ahead and introduce her.
This is Elizabeth, my girlfriend. I don't want to introduce her anymore.
All right.
Yes.
Speaking to your fucking mic, please. Pull it in. There we go.
Fucking pull your dick in. fucking bitch.
Tug me off, bitch. Call me the tugboat. That's right. You want to restart this? I'll restart this. I've got a whole episode that's not recorded that I will repeat word for fucking word. I gave a great remix to.
Honestly, you could probably listen to it off of my headphones and redo everything.
There was a great. Oh, that would be really funny. That would be very time consuming.
Belly full of cum, belly full of cum.
What's
That's
that?
right.
What song is that?
It's Face Fisted by Death Clock.
All right, highly recommend listening to that song. And yes, we did a remix involving
Belly full of cum, that's right.
and
Belly full of cum, that's right.
and Daddy's Cummies. I give a shout out to Bo. That's all I know. And you know,
Who's Bo?
Bo is the guy that came up with Daddy's Cummies. And we had a guy in our fraternity that hated it when he would say that, and he would piss him off all the
Sounds
time.
like something
Just
Ian
walking
says.
around and be like, oh, I'm gonna fill you full of Daddy's Cummies. And
Fucking hate that.
yeah, right. It
Fucking
was
terrible.
fucking awesome. Last night was like a hint of like a frat house kind of feel, like because we all just were shit hammered, just watching Scooby Doo, music playing loud as fuck. Everybody's doing their own thing, little drinking, little smoking, little fucking doing, and you know, and then
Drinking, smoking, fucking.
living the good life. Ben and Liz were an hour late. Not gonna say why. Probably drinking, smoking, fucking. But and then they also left an hour early. Drinking, smoking, fucking. And then I've got nothing against it. I'm not angry at all. I'm fucking happy. I'm so happy right now.
One of those is right.
I wasn't lonely. I wasn't lonely at all.
It's okay, babe. I'll get you tonight.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna have a belly full of cum. I've been so hungry for so long. You have no idea how dry my tummy is. I want some of sticky.
You have to make every episode as greasy as possible.
Give me white sticky.
Daddy's milk.
Jesus, son.
Welcome to House of the Faded Sun, Season 2. We're back. Full of Daddy's cum.
All right. This episode is not gonna be the vibe that it is.
We're about to do a 180. Let's talk about some spooky shit.
Yeah, let's get spooky with it. There's a pizza on the way, so you might hear a slight pause. All right. Other than that, let's get spooked.
That's Dylan getting his belly full of cum.
Let's get serious. Gaza. I'm just kidding. I don't.
I have been keeping up with current events
I don't.
on that.
Yeah,
I kind of started
I'm
ignoring
not gonna lie. Yeah. The world's falling.
World's falling
Hey
apart.
man, there's a man out there next to a fucking waterfall that has no idea how scared he should be because he doesn't have a cell phone or nothing. I tell you what, I'm ready to be that man.
I
So
want to be standing under the waterfall, training my body to become stronger, and not having technology.
I just keep jumping against the waterfall and it pushes me down. One of these days I'll get to the top.
One of these days, I'll be a salmon.
I'll make it, and then I'll get to the top, and then a fucking bear will eat me. Speaking of spookies, Cocaine Bear, the
That movie
scariest of
fucking
movies.
Sucked.
There is a part of that movie that made me fucking die
Yes, the part with
laughing.
the fucking bear. They're just talking to bear, just like.
It just fucking scoots in the background. You just see a blur, the yellow blur. You see a big brown blur, and it's a fucking
I
bear.
thought the bear
coked
had
out of his
flash
mind.
powers whenever that happened.
I'm fucking. Oh, that killed me. I'd love for them to do like one of the Scooby Doo scenes, like what is it? Dun, 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 dun. You know what I'm talking about? Where they like run in one door and then out of another door,
Hold on,
and then
what the fuck was that tune you were just doing?
isn't that like the? It's kind. I'm not great with beat, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Oh well, the audience will get it. Whatever. Insert shit here, I guess. I probably
Yeah,
won't.
But anyway,
I'm not a good editor.
so before we get to the actual scary stories, Let's hear about Dylan's story. He's been wanting to tell me for 7 months.
Oh,
Because we're gonna talk about some ghost stories, but I don't really have any, so that's just gonna be Liz's and Dylan's forte tonight.
okay. Uh, let me start with two not so spooky stories.
How many do you have?
It's ones that like you've heard, but the audience has not. First one was I was at home chilling on a bed, and my brother and me were supposed to go fishing, and so I was waiting for him to get home from work, and then while I'm chilling in bed, my bed to the right of my bed was my door, so I could just see out into the hallway. Well, I saw somebody walk past into my brother's room, and I was like, "Hey, Jesse, are we going?" No response. So I get up, walk in his room. Nobody's there. I genuinely thought he was fucking with me so bad. I checked underneath his bed, checked his closet and everything. It was like, this dude's being a dickhead. Like, he's just trying to fuck with me. And he was not home. He got home like an hour later, and it was worrisome at that point. um,
I was starting to get paranoid.
yeah. And then my brother, one time, he was sleeping on the couch after an ACL surgery. And I know he could have been high on pills. I don't know at that time. But our stepdad had a really weird sleep schedule. And like he would not just sleep through a night. He would just get up randomly and go get a drink or something. Well, my brother at like 3 a.m. hears somebody just walk down the stairs, get to the bottom of the stairs, and then there's nobody there and there's nobody moving. And so he's like, "Hey, Brian." No response. And my brother, who's not scared of shit, just like said that he just put the fucking blanket over his head and was like, "Nope, I'm going to bed now," and just fucking just went ahead and peaced out. Yeah, he accepted it then. And then, yeah, my other experience was actually when I first like. I grew up kind of like I grew up in Catholic school or whatever, but like I never really caught on to the religious part or anything like that. But when I like actually started to make changes for myself, it's where like I started like addressing bad habits and like wanting to align myself with goodness, with godliness, and like trying to correct myself. Um, I just had a really weird experience where like there was a night where it was like right when I started finally like being like I'm gonna address all of these addictions, like the porn addiction, fucking like when it comes to like just being an absolute glutton, when it comes to just being a probably pretty shitty person at the time, and I wanted to fully address that and just become good and try and do as much good in the world as I could. And right when I started addressing that, like pretty much that night, I was in bed and uh just I had just like I had laid down and just turned the TV off and was just sitting there. And when I was sitting there, man, just something like it just all of a sudden got like really fucking hot. Like it went from I was perfectly cool to where like it was like hurt to breathe in. My room got like really fucking warm and I didn't dig that. And so I was like, it's really weird. And then I felt a presence. I like felt something looking at me. And I was like, that's extra not cool. Let me address this. And so I start trying to do the Lord's Prayer, which I mean, I've done a million times. Guaranteed. Like I can do it in Spanish, like I know it so well. Like,
Can you
and
really?
yeah, at one point, I've since lost that ability all the way. But
Okay.
when I had my first shoulder surgery and I was going under, I started speaking the Lord's Prayer in Spanish. Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't know I was doing that. Like I like kind of came to it. I was like, wait a fucking second, like
I don't speak Spanish.
why am I speaking Spanish right now? Yeah, but I started trying to do the Lord's Prayer, and I just couldn't. I couldn't remember. I couldn't think. I couldn't. I just felt like crippled, like fear, just like surrounded by something that was just very negative. And like I said, it was just hot as fuck. I just couldn't like get a full breath. Felt like an elephant's on my chest, and yeah, I just was freaking the fuck out and just kept doing Our Father. I think it's our Father who art. Okay, our Father who art in heaven. All right, and then hallowed be thy name, and just kept going back to the beginning, trying to get further in and getting further in, and this went on for like probably like 30, 40 minutes to where like that was happening, like me just trying to remember this one fucking prayer. And finally, like I came to and I got to the end. And the second I got to like the amen, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. When I got to that amen, switch. Like, took a breath. Finally got my first breath. Like, okay, I'm okay. And like, what felt evil felt gone. And it, yeah, that like was like right when like I finally like decided to like kind of turn my life towards a God or a goodness. Like at that point, like wholeheartedly like was like, all right, Catholic as fuck. I don't dig it. I don't dig whatever negativity's out there. So yeah, that was really crazy. And the other time was just that one was like what I considered the scariest moment, like spiritually, I've had. Um, and then a different time, like I was having a full fucking panic attack and was just freaking the fuck out and was like, hey God, I don't know what this is. I don't know why I feel this, but I could really go for like not feeling this right now. And I swear, like I felt like a hand just like touched my side, and right when it touched me, just gone. Immediately, I was cool, and I was like, "What? Oh, okay. I'm gonna watch TV now." Like I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, I was like, I'm not freaking out anymore, so I guess let's use this energy towards something else. Like, and yeah, like that was probably just the scare, like one of like the creepiest moments spiritually I've ever had in my life, and I don't know how to explain it. I you know I know what I experienced, and like I'm a bitter skeptic till the end. Like when it comes to like did shit happen or if like could this have been explained some way. That one was just one of those ones I cannot explain it in any way. Yeah. So
Oh, that's fun.
okay, pizza's here. Timing. Slight delay for a second, just because pizza got here. So thoughts? Any stories?
That reminded me of like the other night when I had a sleep paralysis demon happen while I was sleeping.
Piper has those.
It doesn't happen to me very often, but the other night was the worst one I've ever fucking had in my life. So I was talking on the phone with her and I fell asleep, and I was like, it was one of those times where like you've got it and you're sitting there and you're like trying to wake yourself up by breathing heavily, but it just won't happen. And this time when it happened, it felt like I saw something come out of the corner of my room and like crawl over to me and like lay on top of me, and I was like, ah!
This isn't
And I
cool.
was like, ah! And then I woke up and I was like, where am I?
That's pretty horrific. Yeah. Considering I'm watching a Tool music video right now where there's something crawling.
No, but this thing was like black.
Yeah,
It
I
was
get.
like shadowy black. Oh, actually, I did have another thing. A thing I saw, which is weird, is I went to there's a dam in Taylorsville Lake, and I went there with Patrick and his girlfriend, and when we went down there, we were walking down this big hill, and I saw like a shadowy apparition-looking thing. It was like a shadow man was standing at the bottom of the hill, and as we got closer, it like left. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then like whenever you get down to the bottom, it's like you have a bad vibe about the place.
Just the Gordon's fisherman was down there.
Yeah.
Doing his thing.
Yeah. I didn't like
I
it.
know like a lot of paranormal like things, like they talk about water being one of the more reflectives in terms of like energy and what it holds, and the power that is water itself, like with currents and everything, and the electromagnetic fields of the earth like around it. So I know like that one's a big theory in that world. I see you smiling at each other. Am I in on a joke? What corner did I just back myself into? I don't.
You know
Well-
about the waters, don't you?
Well, it's more along the lines of like whenever he told me that, I was like, there's literally someone had died there.
Okay.
There had to have been because I felt the energy as soon as he started talking about it.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't dig it. Yeah. That's what when people talk about like ghost stories and shit, like when people like tell like genuinely like convincing stories, I get cold chills like a motherfucker, and I'm like, like, cotton mouth and everything. Like I'm like, okay, what do we do?
I've always been like had like hearing stuff. When I was a kid, when we lived at our house in Michigan, there was one day where I was like upstairs and everybody else was downstairs, and I was like, it was coming from my room too, and I know there was nobody else in that room at the time, and there's like a dude was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh,
Who the fuck?
what's that?"
Grab the children! They're in the house!
I fucking ran downstairs and I was like, "It was scary. I almost died. It was the scariest thing. I almost died."
That was in Michigan?
Yeah,
Oof. Alright.
I was like 8. And then, like, I always had problems sleeping by myself when I was a kid, too. So, like, I would just be, like, terrified every night. And there was one night where I was in this, like, little Spider-Man inflatable bed. And, like, I would lay on my side, and every time I, like, laid on my side, it felt like there was something behind me staring at me. And so, like, I would flip over and it'd be on the opposite side, and I'd flip over and it'd be on the opposite side, and I'd flip over and just keep going all night long, and then I'd wake up and I was like, "Mom,
I don't like it anymore.
I'm scared."
I wonder what it is like with kids like being so scared of like
I think
that.
it's, well, from what I've been told, it's because kids are more, like, in tune with that stuff because their brains haven't been given the logic to.
Hey, will you do me a
find
favor?
ways to
Stop
go away
speaking
from it.
into your fucking hand. You're not on the mic, and then it only makes it harder to make.
I'm sorry, your mic's stupid and not in my face like mine at my house.
Make adjustments if you need. Pull the table in closer if you need. You good? Okay. Thank you.
I hate you.
I know, like, because yeah, they talk about like kids being more. Oh, son of a bitch. And we're back. Slight fuck up there.
What was I saying?
We were talking about children's being aligned with like like that. And
Oh, could children be more in tune with the spiritual realm
yeah,
thing?
I guess it makes sense because like your imagination and like everything in terms of like what you perceive to be reality hasn't been fucked with enough to where it's like, hey,
Oh,
this
it's
is
like
right
the
in front of
cave
you.
painting.
But that's true. I think like part of it too is just like you're evolutionarily like, I'm a child. There's so many big people around me. I should be scared. You know what I mean? So like I think like that also makes you more like in tuned with like everything around me is a fucking threat. Some of us never grow out of that. We're grown ass men and I get scared.
Yeah, you do.
I part of it also is probably abusive household shit, but like it's okay.
Well, they also say that people like been in that more like abusive nature growing up are also more in tune with spiritual things.
Yeah. Sketties. Do you have anything to add?
I mean, technically, Ben's not wrong.
Wasn't
I
saying
grew
he
up
was.
in like, well, I grew up in a very traumatizing household. My household is not very good, and today and back then, whenever I was younger, it was mortifying for me. But now it's just like every once in a while, I get like scary things that truly happen to me that I'm just like, no, I'm out. Bye,
Heebie-jeebies.
bitch.
Not feeling it.
Yeah.
She gives me the
Not feeling it.
heebie-jeebies every day.
Telling you crazy ass stories.
Yes,
Well, you
that are
know,
actually happening in real time.
I'd love to hear some crazy ass stories if you're in.
Like a certain door knocking last night.
Nah, fuck that shit in the ass.
You know what's funny? A
Last
week ago,
I was
she said there was gonna be something happen.
I'm still curious about that. Like, cause it's like, could it have been like one of them walking up the stairs hard? But it sounded like a door. Cause me and you
Well,
both
I
didn't
heard
hear
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me, like, Liz and I both
Like no
heard
one
it.
else heard it. It was just
Yeah,
us
and
two.
you can fucking hear it. Dunk, dunk. Like,
Yeah, it was. Thump, thump.
hello? Yeah, doors are unlocked. Yeah, and then somebody walked out the back door, nobody was there. Looked out the other door, nobody was
And
there.
then they walked in, and I was like, "Did you all knock on the door?" No.
It's
our house.
The night started eerie in the first place because when Pipe and I got there, like I walk in, and I guess when I walked in, Patrick's sister was walking out. And it was perfect timing to where I didn't see her. And so I go in and I'm changing in the bathroom. Pipe comes in to help me like change into my outfit. And then she's like, "Hey, who was that girl?" And I was like, "What, Morgan? Like, you know her?" And she was like, no. Like, there was a girl that walked down the stairs and, like, tapped me on the head. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, there was 0 other people. It was just 2 of them and me were the only people in the house. And like I was like fully convinced. Like I was like, this is absolutely fucking weird. Like, what a way to start.
You
But
should have
it
seen the
ended up being
drive.
Patrick's sister. I'm just saying.
You
But
should have seen the drive there for us. It was like everything was foggy
fog?
as fuck.
it shit looked
It had never
weird,
been that
bruh.
foggy
It
before.
was real.
It was weird.
It was very
scary.
Halloweeny vibes.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is spooky.
It was fucking creepy.
And then I was just like, this is beautiful.
She was all about it.
It
I was
was-
like, I feel like we're about to die.
Yeah, what's that movie? The fog with the foggy town in
Mist?
West Virginia.
Silent Hill, The Mist.
Yeah, Silent Hill. The Mist too.
A
but
video game. First.
So I saw a
Slap you in,
movie.
I was gonna say I'm gonna slap in the nipples.
It was a video game
He knows what the
first.
fuck I'm referencing. You think I played that fucking game?
No, because you a bitch.
Exactly. Come on, son. Well, talk about some
It was
fucking shit.
scary.
If you want to talk about some weird shit, man. Last night was weird. Yeah, like it just with that knock, but I would say last night was a blast for me.
I was worried when she said that something was gonna happen. I was like, if something like too overt happens and it scares Patrick, he's just gonna hate Liz for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we're talking about doing a Ouija board, and he was like, no rituals at my house. And I was like, first off, that wasn't even her idea. Second off, that was Hayden's idea.
No, I agree. No, don't fuck around with somebody else's place. That's their domicile. Don't bring no bullshit into their place.
Although we were talking about trying something, but we didn't do it.
Yeah, I'd fucking slap you in the nipples.
Do it.
Tell you what, last night I'd have hit you with a dildo. We'd have been.
I hit you.
You
with the
did. You hit me
dildo.
right in the nose too. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was about to bleed.
I went-
I did. It went boom right on the tip of the
I
nose.
always wanted to slap someone with a dick. Now I have.
I will say I get why it was a deadly weapon in Saints Row. That motherfucker would hurt if you hit
It's
hard
got
enough.
some girth to it.
Yeah. Shout out to Tater trying to eat that dildo.
Who stole the dildo?
That's an off podcast conversation. I'll give you it rhymes with not me. It wasn't in this house. And nobody
The
else.
person that had it in her fucking bra.
Maybe.
Oh, okay, that's what I figured.
Patrick's in for a show. He's gotta he's gonna live a life of pain and suffering here for a little bit. That was a girthy cock.
How can I compete with that?
Well, Patrick ain't gotta compete. He's just gotta take it.
Oh.
Shout out to dildos. Shout out to buttfuck. All right. Shout out sodomy. Yeah. Consensual. Crazy. Y'all can't see what I'm doing with my hands. It's funny. I'm sorry. I realize
funny.
there's no visual
It's
on this
hilarious.
podcast currently. But we do have a video camera set up now, and it's just because we have 3 people that don't know how to set it up to make it comfortable yet. So we'll get the video up soon. But also lick my balls wherever I'm going. I can't quit fucking up every week. So God willing, this podcast will be the first one in 3 fucking weeks.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, don't you?
Yeah, I've been
It's
keeping up.
weeks. I'm fiending, dog, with one of your Ben's voice. Yeah, Dylan, say something about Daddy's cummies.
Fuck off.
So, all right. Sorry. Didn't mean to go that far.
Tell him your story.
Let's go back to the spookly
Tell him the
Ookleys.
one that scared the fuck out of me.
Which one? All of them scares you. It's
The one-
Speaking to a mic. Yeah.
You tell me what to do.
I assume it's the one with the black man.
Oh, you talking about whenever? Okay, so
Nah,
day
sorry, that's
started
not
out-
way racist. Nah, I realized. Yeah, no, I meant like. We'll let her explain.
So it started off with like a normal day, right? I was with my friends. Bree and Wesley, and we we were going to like place to place. We were just chilling, you know. Well, we went to Goodwill this specific day, and we walked into Goodwill, and we we're just walking around, looking around, and we got to where the doll section was, and yeah, I'm telling it in more detail because I knew that you would get mortified if I told you normally. So we were walking to the doll section, and as soon as we got to the doll section, I got these 3 red marks on the side of my neck, like right here. And no.
You got demon
Not like that.
hickeys. Crazy. Fucking metal. Brutality.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So it was like 3 red scratch marks. I did not have any nails at the time. I had like cut my nails off the day before because they were bothering me. They were not the same length, and it was irritating. Well, Bree was like, Presley? I was like, yeah. She was like, your neck. I was like, my neck? What about my neck? It's a neck. And she was like, it has scratches on it. So I was like, no fucking way. You're lying. You're lying. And she was like, no. Look. She took a picture of it. I was like, what the fuck?
Question: did anybody touch the fucking dolls or any bullshit going on?
I did.
Okay, all right. All right. That was a little minute detail that I believe might have been a little necessary. I was looking at it all, and motherfucker scratched me, and I touched it all, and the motherfucker scratched me. All right. Well, no, I just gotta know I gotta quit touching everything. Wear gloves.
That's not gonna happen.
When I clear out units now, I wear gloves on everything. Like I'm like, oh, that the spirit goes away when I take the gloves off. Fuck 'em. Rubber actually helps keep away ectoplasm.
Insulates your hands.
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
So we were just like, let's fucking go. Like, there's no way that this motherfucker is gonna get attached to you right now. I was like, bet. I already say it's probably attached to me because like everything gets attached to me. So we leave and we go to Wesley's house. Now this was like the middle of the day, okay? So it was still bright outside. There was literally 12. And we book it back to Wesley's house, and on the way I felt like there was like something sitting beside me in the like car. I was like, nope, just ignore
Cold
it.
chills activate.
So
You haven't seen anything yet.
go gadget. Cold chills.
You haven't got to the scary part yet.
Okay. Right.
so
I gotta work tomorrow. I gotta go to sleep tonight. That's crazy.
Me too.
This is bad. All right.
So we got back to Wesley's place, and we decided to, do a sweep of the house, cleanse it a little bit. So we lit up some sage, and we started cleansing the fuck out of this house. That's whenever everything started, like, happening. We'd hear knocks, we'd hear, like, booms, we'd hear doors creaking open, we'd hear scratches along the floors. We were mortified.
I'm shaking my head no pretty consistently right now. For you that can't hear my neck snapping from how hard I'm shaking my head no. All right, let's go.
So we were like cleansing it, and I heard someone calling my name from outside in the woods. So, me being me,
I have tears in my eyes. Okay, let's go.
So I looked outside to see if I could see anything. Nothing there. Nothing at all.
Fucking Pennywise chilling over here with just a hand. Oh, yeah. All right. Hiya, Georgie. Okay. All right.
So I was just like, okay, maybe it was nothing. And we decided to sit down and, watch a few movies. So we started watching the movies, and I was hearing something in Wesley's, I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like a pantry thing, but he didn't have anything in it. So it was just like an empty space. And I just kept hearing like something knocking. Like it'd be 3 times, then stop. 3 times, stop. So I was like, Wesley, what the fuck? And he was like, I don't know.
That's not cool, dude.
So we started watching. I think it was The Mummy.
Okay.
The Tom Cruise.
I can tell you, I
So-
would. Oh, okay, not so scary. I was gonna be like, I would not watch anything that would remind me of horror. Anything with negative vibes. I'm putting every. Guess what? We're watching cartoons and
We're
fucking.
watching Cars too.
Yeah, maybe I might fucking do like put a fucking like church service on in the background. All right, like I don't know about it, Chief.
So we started watching The Mummy, and that's when shit started getting weirder. So we'd hear knocks on the side of like Wesley's house, and Wesley lived alone at this point, and his sister had a thing where she'd like to play tricks on us, but she was nowhere in sight. We even texted her. We were like, "Hey, bestie, are you asleep? What's going on? Why are you doing this shit?" And she was like, "Nah, bitch, we asleep." I was like, "I."
Well,
So, so we were just like, Wesley, this has got to be on you. Like, this is your fault. And then Wesley was like, Presley was the one that touched it. I was like, okay, fair enough. So we were all like debating whether or not to go outside. And I was just like, I don't think it's a good idea. So we stayed inside. We decided to like start making some food. Started making some food. Wesley's front door. Now, I was sitting like right beside Wesley's front door. His front door swings open out of nowhere. Now, that has happened to me multiple different times. And whenever it swung open, I thought I saw a shadow figure standing in the door. Like, I literally thought I saw something standing there. And I was like, Bree, I think I'm losing it. And she was like, what? And I was like, the door. She looks over, she's like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
that's what I said.
Wesley.
Yeah.
I was just like, Wesley.
I have neighbors, okay? Sorry, they're all loud and makes it for scarier times, okay?
I called Wesley over and he was like, did you open the door? I was like, dude, I'm sitting down. You really think I'm going to get up, run to the door, open it, and then sit back down? No, because he had a regular wooden door and then he had a screen door. So he would have to open up the screen door and you could literally hear it squeak, but the door on the outside, which was the wooden door, was swung open, just completely swung open, almost hit the like outside of his house. And he's just like, well, go close it. I'm like, I ain't closing it. You think I'm going out there?
That's a big fuck
Nah.
no.
Yeah, so we all started like looking outside and we were like, anything out there? What's going on? So Wesley, the man he is, he closed it for us and I was like, thank you. So we were eating some food and
My appetite's gone, dog. I don't know how the fuck you're eating right now, dude. All right.
we were eating some food and Bree was like, did you hear that? I was like, hear what? And she was like, that noise. What noise? Because I heard nothing. Neither did Wesley. Bree was the only one that heard it. And then Bree was just like, I heard someone saying Presley's name, like her full name, and it was outside, like as if they were screaming.
I
And I
cannot
was
express to
like-
you my desire, like, to run right now. Okay.
I was just like, there's no way that you heard that and no one else heard that. Like, if it was loud enough, we'd all hear it. Especially sitting in the same vicinity of each other. Like, there is no way that she heard that by herself. So we finally finished eating, and, like, the end of the Mummy came, and then we decided that we were gonna, like, watch a horror movie.
No.
Bad idea.
The fuck?
So we started watching the original Mummy, the
Brendan
actual
Fraser.
scary one. Yeah. So we started
Things
watching
got weird. The Rock showed up in my house. Brendan Fraser was skinny again. It was all right. Sorry.
So we started watching it, and I heard something like calling my name, but it sounded like my grandfather. And my grandfather is dead. So it sounded like him calling my name. And of course, me being me, I was like, no, you're dead. You're not supposed to be here. What is going on? And Bree was like, Presley, are you okay? I was like, no, I think I'm gonna cry or maybe even throw up. Like, I was mortified. And
yeah, reasonable.
So I was just like, okay, we need to go like investigate, see what the fuck's going on out here.
All right. I'm staying the fuck inside.
So all three of us decided to do a lap around the house to make
Together?
sure everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
together.
That's the best move.
So Bree's like latched onto me, and I'm latched onto her, and Wesley's walking in front of us a little bit, and we get like to the side where the wooded area is. So like we like just walked out the front door, off the porch, and went left. So we were going towards where the wooded area was, and we had walked like relatively close to the house because if anything happened, we were about to duck back inside that fucking house. So we like walked around, and I saw like a full like bodied ghost just standing in between the trees. And Bree seen it too. She was just like, Presley, do you fucking see that? I was like, yeah, I fucking see that, but I'm gonna fucking ignore it because I'm not doing this shit today. So Wesley was like, what are y'all talking about? And he looked over, he was like, fuck no, fuck no. I was like, okay, we all see it. So we casually just walked away. We were like, nope, not today. So we like get to like the other side where like his driveway's at, and we get like almost back to the porch. We were like a couple of feet away from the porch, and me, Bree, and Wesley, all of us sees this thing, black like thing, apparition, whatever, and it was standing there staring at us. We of course we stopped, stared at it for a moment, and we were like, all right, let's just go back in. This thing started running full force at us, and we were like, no. We booked it into the house. That motherfucker chased us all the way up onto the porch, and as soon as Wesley slammed the door, that thing hit it. Like full force hit it. And it made the loudest thud I've ever heard in my whole entire life. And I was mortified. And not only that, but like things kept happening after that. So knocks, scratches, and Bree actually almost passed out because she was like just sitting there, and she was like, guys, I don't feel well. And she like leaned back, and whenever she leaned back, her eyes like shut immediately. Everything, like she stopped breathing for a second, I swear. And she was just like sitting there, and I looked at Wesley. I was like, is she having a seizure? And Wesley was like, no. I was like, what's wrong with her? And she snapped back up, and I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened? And she was like, I thought I saw something. I was like, no, I don't want to know. Never in a million years.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, there's that.
That's that's a no. So follow up questions with that. Was that just the one night?
Yeah, it all happened in one
Okay.
night.
And so go to sleep. Wake up. No more?
Well, it was like subtle things that had happened like afterwards, but like after, I think it was a day after, things just got back to normal, as if nothing happened, until like about a couple weeks ago. I saw the thing again. Yeah, Ben doesn't know about that.
I got a shit. Like, okay.
Go shuck some corn.
Yeah, I've got to go return some videotapes. I don't. Okay. So one thing, like, I know. I wouldn't say I'm a good Catholic, but I looked into like some religion at some points, and one of those things was just like, I know like priests would talk about like, because it's the people that like tend to be towards the good and like doing good things that also tend to also get like the most hate. You know what I mean? And so that comes from spiritual and physical side of the worlds that we live in. So one of those things, like I know like priests, like they would talk about, like there was one guy, he talked about like he woke up to like shit slamming around him, and it like truly, like if you don't acknowledge it, like they have no power. You know what I mean? And like if you truly turn yourself towards the good, that's why like I prayed, because I was like, oh fuck, like I need like let me make sure that the good knows I'm here. You know what I mean? And yeah, like giving no acknowledgement. Like this priest was talking about, like he's like, yeah, like shit was slamming around me, and I was like, ah, no, and just went back to sleep. And guess what? Shit stopped. Like,
Oh, that's not happening. Oh, that's not
yeah.
happening.
No.
See, the funny thing about that is I actually live in a haunted house. So my house is literally like there's a shit ton of ghosts. Some of them I may have brought in myself by accident, but most of them was actually in the house itself whenever we got it. And it is mortifying sometimes to be there.
I'll talk to her on the phone. This is the only time it ever happens is when I'm on the phone with her, and there'll be like a bunch of feedback in my AirPod, and it sounds like someone's trying to talk to me on a radio.
Cool.
Literally, it's only when I'm on the phone with her, because I use my AirPods for work on Fridays, and it doesn't happen.
Okay. React. I know one girl, like she like in Bardstown, like she talks about like her house just has like that negative energy in it, and like they went to their basement when they got that house, and it still has like the slave chains and shit like bolted into the brick and everything, and it's like, yeah, there's definitely like I believe in like energies and like residual energies, people that like got killed or like they were taken out of this world at a wrong time, per se, like and those things, like I think your energy does like stay behind, and that's an interesting one to where like I don't know if I believe in ghosts as in like we all die and become ghosts, but like I do get why like some energies would stay around, some spirits of like traces of that spirit would still be there. Like yeah, makes sense. And like having a hell of a time with these fucking
Them
mics.
damn ghosts fucking the microphones.
Sons of bitches. They don't want their story heard. All right. Before we move on to the next thing. Okay, you mentioned seeing little motherfucker running again.
Yeah,
you saw Usain Bolt's spirit. So let's talk about that.
I would also like to talk
Good
about
mythical
this.
morning. Let's talk about that. Please elaborate.
Okay, so it
Nice.
was it was standing at the edge of the driveway, as I said before, next to his mailbox. And it was really tall. And it had this like top hat on.
Isn't that that's known as like the spirit of what sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Tall Hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Wait a second. When did you see it again?
When did I see it again?
Yeah.
It was a couple weeks ago. It was about.
Please elaborate.
It was about. I don't know. It was definitely in October. I think it was after the first time I came to visit you. Like
Okay.
here. Well, not here, but like.
Yeah.
And it was kind of just standing in my room, staring at me. And I knew it was like there because I felt the energy that I felt that night. And I was like, no, I don't want to acknowledge you.
So do you like?
When did you see it the first time?
The first time?
Yeah.
That was back in, I think it was 2020. It was around fall. It was almost the same exact time whenever I saw it this time.
Twait. Like
I'm
a
pretty
twigger.
sure that's what I saw in my.
Your sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
Ben's
It
got
was
a
a big
dream journal
black
he's pulling
shape.
out.
And I'm pretty sure it had like a tailcoat and like a hat. And then I forgot about this part in my dream. I wrote it down. I was holding my hands down, holding a hand over my mouth, saying "shh," and I couldn't scream or make any words come out of my mouth.
Oh, that was just me.
Oh.
That was yeah. Nice. Don't touch
I'm
anything over
terrified
here.
right now.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're gonna have to sit somewhere else. Don't touch this shit. I'm gonna lose it. That was too much. No. All right. Back on topic. That's yeah. I don't know how to feel about this. So do you have like a thing to where you're like, all right, let me bring some positive back into here because I feel negative energy around me? Do you have a way of kind of helping yourself
I do.
rid the energy around you?
I normally, with my practice, witch and
Yeah,
everything.
she's a witch, by the way. We didn't mention that earlier.
She's got a cauldron as we speak.
She does actually have a cauldron. I
And
got her one.
she's holding a broomstick and she has a black cat behind her. It's over her shoulder like a parrot. All right.
But
Let's quit witching around. What?
I normally like when the negative energy comes like into my vicinity, I have this thing where like in my mind, and I normally speak it out, I tell it to like it's nothing, that it can't do anything, and that I am over, like I have the power to control it and it cannot harm me in any physical way or shape because it is not a living being.
Mhm.
So that's what I normally do. Or I just light up some fucking sage and
Word.
You don't make fun of me for having a sage in my room, do you?
I don't give a shit.
Oh, wait, no, that was hate.
I keep that. Yeah, I keep that holy water on me, dog. Keep that. I stay strapped. I keep that thing, dog. Yeah.
Power of Christ compels you.
Yeah. All right. That's an interesting way of doing it. I get it, and I can understand
It's like
why.
the mantra.
Yeah. Just a lot of thoughts happening right now.
Questions, buddy.
Well, I mean, do you have any elaborations, any more stories that you feel are connected that you want to roll with?
I actually do.
Okay.
So I talked about this man, the man that like ran at me. Well, at my friends too. Well, I'm pretty sure that he has a daughter. Now, Wesley, hold on. Wesley has seen this man too before, way before I met him. And we all have like, we believe that it was a family that is currently trying to like haunt us practically. And we believe, so let me take it back a few steps. There's this thing that I used to talk to whenever I was younger. Her name is Anna. I told Benny Boy about her.
Oh, fuck.
Awkward.
It's my ex's name.
She said this thing named Anna. He said,
That's what Piper calls her. A thing.
that's enough out of me.
Okay. So.
So she was this little girl. I think she's about 4 or 5, maybe 6 even. And her mother drowned her in my bathtub in the house. And
Oh, buddy.
needless to say, I'm pretty sure, and so are my friends, that that is his daughter. And he was a drunk asshole that decided to beat her.
Okay.
And their mom was obviously crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, she died in my bathtub.
Caught that CTE from getting fucking decked. Okay, so I have a view on spirituality that is kind of from the Catholic viewpoint, which is like things want you to pity them. Things want you to give them kind of strength in any way. And so I do find it odd in any time. And like children are scary. I don't know why they're so fucking scary, but like when I'm around kids, not scary. When you like say anything about a kid, like, but like every now and then kids say some weird fucking shit, man.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, I'm not about like spirit children, like that whole like, mythos of around that. Because like in like Louisiana, they have like these like spirits that are known to be like tricksters, and like they'll like your horses will just come out and like have like braids, and like the security cameras, like there's like footage of like the horse is fine, and then they just come out there, nobody ever came in the barn, and then the horse has fucking braided hair, and it's like just weird little trickster spirits. Well, like I don't dig that shit. Like I just always feel like anything that tries to get sympathy from the afterlife tends to be a negative thing doing trickery. Everybody's Loki to me.
Everybody's Loki.
Everything's Loki. Yeah, like it's all a trickster shit, and so like that's like my worry. And whenever you say something like that, that's my thoughts.
It's fucking Loki.
Do you have any rebuttal?
Okay, so technically we have all of my friends have seen her before.
Okay.
And
What is this technicality?
okay, so we all see her whenever we're in danger. And I'm not even
You're riding
joking.
with Private Malone, man. Shout out to that song. I'll put that in the description.
So whenever this is another time which I'm gonna have to say because this time really fucked with me. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings. It was
the happiest of places.
It was me, Bree, Wesley, Blake, and Danny. And we were all just, like chilling at Buffalo Wild Wings, having a jolly good time. And Blake was like, Presley. I was like, yeah. She was like, do you see her? And I look over to where she's looking at, and she was standing there. Just standing there, staring at our table. And then Bree seen her too, but
I'll fuck a little kid up. I swing on a little fucker so fast. Stare at me again.
So Wesley and Danny did not see her, but me, Bree, and Blake seen her. And we were like, okay, let's get done eating and let's book it out of here. So we got done eating and we went to a park in Cookville and we were just, playing on the playground. Well, the playground had shut down, was about to shut down. And the dude was like, hey, y'all can't be here. Y'all need to leave. We left, and then Blake decided that she was going to jump the fence. Now, it's a small fence, and of course, you could jump it if you wanted to get in, even though the gates are locked. Well, Blake jumped it, and me and Bree seen the little girl again, and as soon as we seen the little girl, all we hear is thunk, and Blake had ran full force into a metal pole, broke her glasses, and cut a big ass gash in her eye. Her whole eyebrow has a gash in it now. And
she's just that fucking unathletic. What happened here? Why did she have the confidence that she could jump a fence to then hit a fucking pole?
No, she had already jumped the fence, and then it was a couple minutes later.
Was just running. Hey guys, I'll be back. Head looking away, and then just smack. Gosh damn.
Well, she was on her way back to jump over the fence again.
Yeah.
And I guess she turned too fast or something and just smacked right into it. Cut her eye. Had to have 8 stitches, and it was so deep you could almost see her bone. It was bad.
Ouch town.
And we took her to the hospital, and Blake was just like, damn, that happened. I was like, yeah.
That's an interesting one.
He's like an omen for getting the fuck kicked out of you.
Yeah. All right.
Tell him about the one that be his friend.
Hmm?
What the fuck?
Oh fuck him. Oh, what?
There's a frat. There's a frat boy.
Oh,
okay.
I thought you were talking about one of my friends. I was like, don't fuck with me.
No. It would be your friend.
Okay, all right.
So his name is Alex. He is a 23-year-old frat boy, and he died.
Shout out!
Oh, Piper, why'd you make that face?
He died in a car crash.
Okay.
Whenever he got drunk, obviously at a party, was heading back home, and he got into a car crash. And he is very flirty with the ladies, very flirty, and he loves alcohol, loves it.
Hey, brother. All right.
It's just you.
I am curious. I have a lot of thoughts going all at once. I got theories. I don't know if you want to hear them. So there's a boy that loves alcohol. Well, I guess you say he died in a car crash, so it wouldn't be the same guy and just a younger energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see where I'm going with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see what you're saying. That is interesting. They got a flirty ghost. I really got shit. This is making me nervous. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. I'd see like my little sister when I was little, like she was talking like she was talking to me one day and she's like my grandpa, so she was born on like the 6th and my grandpa passed away on the 7th, and like he was in the hospital before that, but like he had waited like until like she was there, and like when he was unresponsive to anybody that wasn't me or my dad, and when my dad came in there and told him that like she was born, she's healthy, she's fine, he squeezed his hand and then the next day passed away. And so like okay, I see him as like overseeing her, you know. With that, there was a day where she's like 4 or 5 and she's like, hey, I talked to grandpa. And I was like, wait, what? What the fuck did you just say? And so I don't know if you've seen Insidious, but like the whole thing is that like there is like parts of the afterlife where like they'll mock you, they'll act like there's somebody, like you said, you heard your grandpa's voice, but he dead. Okay. So like that was where like I like immediately was like, okay, buddy, that's awesome, I'll talk to you later. And like went to my room and was like, God, like I need your fucking help right now. Like don't let a motherfucking thing like near my little sister, dude. Because then like I was like praying to my grandpa and shit, and I was like, if it's you, cool, don't, like you can watch over all you want, but I ain't about this communication shit because I don't need her getting in any negativity. I don't need anything trying to fucking creep in, and like that's not how I roll. And I do believe in the spiritual realm, so like I don't dig that. I don't dig communicating with it. Is why like I'm against like Ouija boards and shit. Is because everything can act like something else in this world that we have no conception of how powerful or how whatever it is like we don't understand how that shit works. But we know that in the physical world, like we have the power here. But like like I just don't. Kids are more susceptible, and so that's why I just that shit like fucks with me. Like I fuck with me hard. And so like to hear like that shit, like where like a kid's talking to you and shit, like that's crazy to me. Like it's like hot damn. Like still, God, I'm gonna do some prayers and shit. I'm gonna fucking meditate before I go to bed. Like, yeah. How do you feel as a person on the day to day to live with such things?
On a day-to-day basis, mostly it's just like it's okay.
Yeah.
But there is days where like stuff happens and I'm just like, no. Like I'm used to getting touched.
That happened when I was driving her up here. She got touched on the
thigh. on the leg right here. I got
She's
touched
like, that
on
wasn't
the leg.
you, and I was like, well, I was driving. We were listening. I was talking about Franz Ferdinand from World War I, and she got touched.
She said, oh, I'm not. Hanky panky, I have not had in about 80 years. Oh yeah, it was 100 years ago. Shit, my bad.
110.
My fault, Franz. Don't do that shit. I'll fuck you up. It's my boy's girl. That's gnarly. That's you were talking about you were driving one day, right? And Benny, like you had an experience where you felt the presences.
Well, yeah, like sometimes when I'm driving around, I'll feel like your dad and my grandpa are chilling in the Jeep with me, or like in my car, just hanging out.
That's what like energies are cool. Like I dig like when you feel a positive energy. Just interaction, not my thing. Yeah.
Sometimes I see a cat in my room downstairs, and like I know that my cat's not in there because I shut the door because I don't like open doors for that reason. And then like sometimes I'll just see like a tail of a cat out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh fuck,
back off.
Well then, I don't know. It's fucking weird.
Pretty sure it's Liz.
No, because it was behind her.
Shut the fuck up. You're scaring me. Nah, that's fine. That's an interesting one to have. Just chilling around.
Do you feel anything now?
Don't do this. I didn't ask that question.
Over there, specifically?
No, Ben's trying to be a little bitch, okay? We were watching a movie, and it was fucking gnarly. What was that? What's the name of that movie?
It's Ganjam Asylum.
Ganjam Asylum, yes. It is tremendous. It is scary.
That wasn't because
and
of the movie,
Ben was
though.
just like,
I feel like I see something
I
over
felt
your
something
shoulder.
over there.
Dylan, be scared. There's something over your shoulder.
And like, no, dog. Like, this is like one of like I've lived in 2 places my entire life where I haven't felt like negativity, and like this is one of them. Like, and
I wouldn't say it's a negative thing.
yeah, like that's what
Oh,
like,
I didn't feel
I don't
negative at
feel-
all.
I'm just not about. I don't care. I don't care if it's negative, positive, whatever. Get the fuck out. You ain't welcome here, homie. Like it ain't. I ain't about that life.
That sounds like she did notice something though when she said that.
Not my issue. Not my problem. I don't
wanna
need
know.
it.
I want to know.
Cool. When you leave.
Yes, outvoted, bitch.
If it's not bad.
I don't care. Everything's a Loki.
What a fucking pussy.
Do you see what I mean? Everything's a Loki, though. I don't care if you. Everything seems cool till it's not. Every woman seems normal till they're not. Every man seems cool till they're not.
She kind of proved that she wasn't normal in the first 2 seconds.
Yeah,
And I can
did.
trust a motherfucker that acts like they're not normal because they're not, and we can be cool. It's people that try and act normal that I ain't about it. And so when you try and act normal, don't matter spiritual energy or whatever, dog, you catch a vibe. And here, like, I feel okay. There's no negativity. We're good. I don't need summoning. I don't need anything else in this fucking house but me and my girl and my 3 fucking cats, and my friends.
And your
that's
ghost
it.
Jimmy over there.
Give no names.
Give no
Give
names.
no names. Barely gave these cats names. Not kidding about that poop. It's gonna come. I don't know. What do you like? Do you have any more thoughts? Like, not resounding around my house.
No.
What
So
about my house?
that is a good question. I told you before that
No, I know you said you felt like there was ghosts there, but do you know like,
Yeah.
the specifics?
I feel like there is definitely a bad entity there. I can say that. I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel it every time I'm like in there, but I don't speak upon
Is
it.
it in the basement?
Yeah.
Oh, my mom said that, and so did her medium friend. That's great. I wasn't mistaken.
Like I always feel it like just watching me. It knows. It knows that I can see it. And it just sits there and watches me.
We're gonna cleanse that bitch when we get back. Now I'm the scared one, Dylan. Are you happy? I sleep in that room.
Welcome to my world.
Does it hide in like the corner,
Mhm.
like opposite of where where my chair is?
Yeah.
I fucking knew it.
Where the trash is?
Yes. Well, I
it-
don't. It's not there now.
It's the trash man.
I wonder if it's attached to that fucking bass guitar my dad's had since I've been before I was born.
You slap at the bass? The ghost is slap at the bass?
Intrigued. I know.
I will say though, whenever like spirits talk to me, I'm very scared to like actually like talk to them unless I feel that I am safe.
I can understand that. That's
Because
reasonable.
most of the time, like it's happened before with whenever Ben was on the phone with me. Like someone came through, wanted to talk, and it was like I was trying to trust them, but I was like, I don't know. Like I've had multiple different ones whenever Ben's on the phone, and I even told him about it most of the time, except for that one time when I was like, I don't fuck with this feeling,
Mhm.
and I was just like, no, you cannot talk to me.
Hmm.
Now that we've given Dylan thorough nightmares.
I just a lot of thoughts. I mean, like this is a very interesting conversation, and I just taking it all in, man. That's yeah. I don't. I'm curious because one thing is like if ghosts exist, you know what I mean. That means like there's an afterlife. But also like I've not doubted that in a long time because of like the energy I feel doesn't matter. Like I know that like the energy persists, therefore like my energy goes somewhere else, aka an afterlife. Like my energy still feeds the earth or feeds whatever. Yeah, I I'm at a loss for words right now.
Oh, that's a fucking first.
Wow, it seems like it's back to that phone call again.
Oh yeah. Remember when you interrogated her that one time and asked one question?
Yep. I only needed one question, and it was a good answer. It was a perfect answer for what I needed, and so I asked her my intentions with my good friend. She gave me a very good answer, and I respect that. Thank you. Man, Pipe, you got anything you want to add? Anything you want to say in this? No? God bless Halloween. All Saints Day is right the day after, right? November 1st. Waiting for it. Here's the that.
It's like, I need November to get here right
Yeah,
fucking now.
let that veil close. Don't need those open legs. We can close those.
We can close those.
It is an interesting thing. Like, it's a very interesting thing as to like the pagan like rituals of like like beliefs in Halloween, and like even like when it comes to Mexico, you have Dia de los Muertos and like believing in the veil there, and like those are very different cultures. And so, what is it about this time of year? What is it about like the changing of like the time between summer to autumn to winter? What is it about like this time of year that has created, you know, conversation traditions, oral traditions, spoken, like, you know, physical traditions throughout multiple cultures, causing what we today call Halloween and All Saints Day, shit like that. It's very interesting, very weird, and I understand why like people believe in like the witchcraft and everything, and like where that comes from, because you know, if you feel energy and you believe in energies, like you're gonna get some energies that like you'll feel the vibe. And I think what's funny too is I actually was like reading up recently on like people with ADHD, and like we spoke before the podcast, like I heard you talking about like I'm super ADHD, and well, me as well. And so one of those things is like there was a good joke, and it was like you put your ADHD friend into a room first, because they're the ones that's going to read the vibe, and if they say let's leave, trust them. Like they know what's up. They've got a vibe, and like we have a good vibe radar. Like, and I've started trusting that a lot more here recently, like just trusting my gut, and I've been right, and it actually like helps in a lot of situations.
Let me tell you, my like driver radar for every time we hire a new driver at work is 100% on point every time. I can just tell talking to him for 5 minutes. I'm like, you're gonna be a shit driver. You're gonna be a good driver. You're gonna be a shit driver, and it has not failed me yet.
That's funny. That's, it, having a vibe radar for people and understanding how to read a situation is everything. And like, yeah, it's I hate when I have conflictions, because like my spiritual and philosophical like beliefs versus like we live in a world that requires money, like like those things where it's like, all right, I gotta have this job, and this job's gonna suck, and I can feel that now at day one. But then also at the same time, it's like I still need that money either way, so I gotta suck it up, Buttercup. That's an interesting like one. It's like, okay, which vibe do I go with? And I don't want to be one of those fucking hippies that's retarded and is like, dude, just guess what? I've been fucking hip. I've been a hobo for 25 years. Never been happier. It's like, yeah, dude, you have no teeth, and like, yeah, and like, you smell like dog food. So how about I don't listen to you?
Just smell like dog food.
But also, that guy could be the happiest motherfucker in the world, and I'd never know
He's
it.
just living his best life.
Yeah.
What time are we at?
I also think people lie. I think we're around an hour.
Okay. You want to do some of my Halloween questions? Or
Yeah,
keep going with the
absolutely. I was
spookies?
wondering. I mean, fucking.
Well, we had.
I've been here literally at a loss for words. I've been trying to figure out where to go with it.
Can I say one more thing?
No.
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, whenever I first met Bree, I was in high school. We literally met our freshman year, and I did not want to go to her house because of a reason. So every time she'd invite me over, I'd be like, no, I don't think so. So in junior year, I finally decided to go over to Bree's house to see what it was about. because I knew something was up with that house. So I walked into our house, and immediately, whenever I walked through the door, I felt a negative entity. And then I also felt her mom's brother, who had passed away in a car accident. And that negative entity is still in that house today. She's moved out, but that negative entity is still in that house. That thing has opened doors. It has literally, like, on video, like, we were making a video for a little thing for our English class, and I was knocking on her mom's door to see if, like, it would knock back, just to test it out. So I knocked on it, and no one was in this room. Nothing was in there. So knocked on the door, and it knocked back 3 times. I Jack Sparrow ran my ass all the way into her room. I was like, no. It scared the life out of me. Then there was this one time. It was me and her little sister. We were washing dishes, and her back door swung open, and no one was there. We thought it was Bree's mom
What
coming
is it
in.
about people not locking doors around
No,
here,
it
man?
was locked. It was locked and it was secure, but this thing swung open. Like, it was a hefty door. Like, you had to push it, and it just swung open by itself. And we tried to figure it out, like, multiple times.
No cleansings, no.
Oh no, Bree's mom wasn't really into that at that point. So, but we called Bree's mom, and we were like, "Hey, this happened. What's going on?" Like, we thought it was you. And she was like, "No, I'm still at work." And we were just like, "Okay, then what the fuck do you want us to do?" And Bree's mom was like, "Everyone hibernate to the living room." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." So we all stayed in the living room until her mom got home that night. And then we did this was on our behalf. We decided to do a ritual so that we could actually talk to them. And someone came through, said my name multiple different times, and then said my grandfather's name. And I was like, nope. I literally started bawling my eyes out. I could not do it.
Mm-hmm. That is reasonable. It's the exact reaction I would have. And yes, I get it. Yeah, it's just not about communicating with that that side. Gnarly. That is something. Fuck me. Tennessee, get your shit together. How about like a lot of it too is like Eastern Kentucky. Like there's a lot of like weird vibes. You know what I mean? Tennessee, a lot of weird vibes. And you look, and when you follow like the Trail of Tears, where like there was this massive migration of people that were, oppressed and like forced to leave like what they believed home, where they had a spiritual connection and everything else. And you look and like see like they died, and like just like their slaves died, they died, they froze to death, their children froze to death like in front of them. Like, yeah, like there's a horrible energy that runs through the Southeast at times. And like I get why out of everywhere in the world, like we would have some kind of common denominator, and a lot of like people talking about like, I'm over in Indian burial ground. Like, well, like genuinely, like a lot of my friends like have like, you can look at the Trail of Tears and they went through like their property, and like, yeah, there's like actually like dead bodies like on their property, and like that's crazy. You just gotta deal with that. And like,
I just had a trauma thing. Just like everything in me just like clenched, because I actually had a dream one night, and it didn't really scare me, but it was a dream that there was an Indian man buried on my property, and I didn't realize it. And Ben was actually in this dream before I even met him. And I was literally like, I didn't know who the person was. Yeah. He doesn't know this. So
I'm bringing the best out of people.
So he had came one day, and we were doing some renovations to like our yard, and they were like,
The
hey,
Indian?
no. they were like, hey, there is dead remains on your property. I was like, what?
Ew.
And like I walked over there and Ben was like following right behind me. He was like, what is going on? Did this chick really murder someone? And I was literally standing right where the grave was at, looking down at this human that's just like dead, like just bones. And I saw like I, I guess you could say it was technically a ghost form, but he was just standing there, but he looked like he was there in person. And he was like trying to like talk to me, and I just felt like sadness. I woke up from this dream bawling my eyes out. Like I never wake up from dreams and like full blown tears unless it's something that involves my grandfather, but this time it was like full blown tears. I was literally shaking whenever I went into my living room, and I was like, I just had the craziest fucking dream. And my mom and dad listened to it and they were like, I don't see why you think that, but okay. I'm like, oh, well, thanks for reassuring me, but whatever.
I mean, it's not a hard thing to check, honestly. If you would like to, like, you can look up like the routes that different tribes went to get to Oklahoma, and like could possibly be a little closure to your story. And it also helps that, like, you know, like I know like people talk about like for those that are sensitive, like you're like a light in darkness to things that would try to communicate. That's where everything's a Loki, but also at the same time, I'm not saying everything's evil. Like, just because I'm a sensitive person, I've been tricked a lot by people that are alive, so I don't trust anybody alive or dead. Like, yeah.
I don't know if anyone else can feel it, but like there's a lot of energy in this room.
It's like
A lot.
we're talking about heavy shit, and
Yeah.
like I think that brings about like a feeling like with it. There's a deepness, there's a
Yeah.
darkness, and like but it's also like that's where like why we started this podcast was the fact that like my dad died, and it brought like a lot of things, like a lot of thoughts, a lot of realizations, and like bring light to this darkness. And like that's why like I'll make jokes in the middle of your like these things, because we're talking about shit that like some people could be skeptics and everything, but these are experiences, and all we know is our experiences. And if you've experienced these things, like it's just as real to you as anything else. And so like that's have respect for it, feel the energy, feel the, you know, vibe that's around us, and like let's add good into this. You can feel the negative, well, okay, like I pray for your soul, man. Like if there's a native out there that's dead and restless, I pray for them. And like that's what like I respect the Catholic, and like I wrote my thesis on like the existence of a purgatory. Do you know the concept?
Yeah.
Okay. That when I pray, which I should pray more than I do, but when I pray, I pray for those trapped in purgatory, which I believe could very well be like those on the other side that try to communicate with us and things. And it's like, you know, like in Coco, like where they've got like I think it's Coco, where they, no, in one of them, like you're truly gone when you're forgotten by everyone. Okay, and so when I pray for like all the souls in purgatory, I believe that there are many trapped there in a way, and I believe that could be what we see as like ghost forms on this earth, because everybody's forgotten about them. Whoever their family was or whatever have no longer been alive. Their story's no longer told. So when I pray for like them, I'm trying to put positive energy into that is gray or dark. And like, yeah, right now, like you feel energy getting better because we're talking about like let's add goodness into this. Like let's like when you go home, fucking do your sage or whatever, do your prayers. Like I'm gonna introduce myself to God again, and like, you know, let's bring goodness into this. And it's a really crazy thing to think like Halloween, man. Like we feel like, yeah, sure, things get closer and everybody dresses up in these crazy, scary like things, and it's supposed to like ward off the evil. True, but also when you're good and you dress up as good and you are good and you're just having fun and like you introduce goodness into the world, the evil can't get a hold. It's like trying to climb a mountain with no foothold. It's like when you put goodness, you're smoothing out all the rough that's on that mountain face. And we're doing good by just talking about it, bringing it out. Here's this crazy weird shit in this darkness, But also, here's this goodness. We can pray for this. We've come so far from this. You've come so far from having these demons attached and like these negative entities attached to where you can now like say like, okay, like you're with good people. You're in a better place, and like you're able to also address these things as a grown up instead of just being like a child. Like, oh, what the fuck? Like, there's a little girl talking to me right now, and it don't fucking exist. Like, you can grasp a little bit more of the concept of like what's going on.
Not to scare anyone or anything. There was a humming.
I've got music going on, by the way.
I mean,
it's ever so slightly. I don't know.
I don't know if that's what I heard, but I heard like a humming.
I'm gonna hope it was that.
It like came from over this direction.
It's possible. It's possible.
Sounds like shut the fuck up, please.
Hey, man.
Over there?
Stop asking about over there.
It's a fucking bathroom, Ben. I take mean shits in there. That's probably what you're feeling. Is the fucking demon that comes out my asshole every time I fucking open it up.
It's a portal to hell.
It is. It's a red chili ring is what it is. Do your fucking Halloween questions, my brother. Liz, do you not feel like a better vibe though when we speak of these things?
Like once you start talking about it, it feels like the energy is like a lot easier to like go with.
Navigate. Yeah. Climb over.
These questions just don't fit the vibe of what we've been talking about.
Then ask questions that
Are they
like,
happy
you wanted to know.
questions?
No, they're just random shit.
Okay. Well, I mean, do you have any more to add to what we've discussed, or any questions or anything?
I've been intently listening.
Okay. Right on.
My brain is also running around with thoughts that I can't quite put down.
Mine is too. I don't like when you put the mic up to my face. It makes me like not want to talk anymore.
Just like, I can't hear you.
Proceed.
Okay.
If it's important enough, I will speak up.
Okay. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Proceed if you'd like with your questions.
Let me find one. Would you buy a doll that you knew was haunted?
No.
You're looking straight at me, so I'm assuming that is like pointed towards me. Actually, I have already.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that question.
Did you buy that doll that day in Goodwill?
No,
Not that one.
That's what I thought.
different doll. I actually have a little doll that looks like me that has a spirit attached to it.
Did it come looking like you, or is it like a?
Okay, so my mom and dad got me this doll whenever I was younger. I didn't realize it looked like me until we found it under our house in an air vent.
Oh, it's like what Hayden was talking about.
Like my mom and dad literally got rid of it because they didn't like the feeling that it gave. But now it's sitting in my room on my shelf.
How did it get in there?
I put it in there.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say I feel like kids for sure. Like because we have a friend who's talking about how he had a ball. Like he kept hearing this noise tapping in his house, and he didn't know. And one night he had a friend over, and he was like, "All right, there's somebody else here, so let's ball up." Like, and he went up to this air vent, and then a children's ball just like came up, and it was when the air kicked on, and he realized like, oh, that's the noise. And it's like he also was like, who the fuck did that? Like, but also I will say, as a child, I know for sure I dropped so many things down an air vent that was not supposed to be there, and like you never know how they're gonna travel if it's light enough.
Sweating.
You have a blanket on.
Everything else is thin. Everything else is thin, babe.
I'm my feet are cold, and so I'm cold. Yeah.
I'm a naturally cold person.
I'm naturally like really warm, so
Yeah.
proceed.
Yeah. This dude is the chili bowl that is my fire. Gnarly. All right. Well, find a doll that's. I don't know. Why?
Why? I would also like to know why.
Why? Why?
So originally, whenever I got the doll, I think I was 2014, just after my grandpa had passed away, and I had gotten it because the energy that I felt from the doll felt like my grandfather's energy, and I loved that energy because my grandfather was what felt like the only person that loved me at the time. And he was there my whole life taking care of me while my mom and dad was, doing whatever they do, out and about, never at home. I actually lived with my grandfather most of my life. So it came to like either me feeling like I was safe or feeling like I was not safe. And at that point, my home did not feel like a home. It felt like a house just sitting there. And whenever I found that doll, I was like, that's the energy that I've been looking for. So I told Dad, I was like, hey, can I have this? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we got it. And I've had it ever since then. It's actually in my closet right now.
Okay.
Understandable. I'm sad with it. I do.
The doll's ghost followed her to my to my hotel room.
Yeah.
I'm sad with that. I have to
Actually,
say.
no, that wasn't that doll. Actually, that wasn't any of my ghosts.
I thought it was.
No.
Yeah, the hotel room I'm talking about, it had a busted in door. And then it also had a busted in door, and it had the bathroom door was fucked up. And I've stayed there twice now in that same room. And each time it feels inky. I don't like it.
Maybe change hotels.
No, because it's the cheapest fucking hotel.
There's a reason for that.
It's not that bad of a hotel other than that one room, dude. I'm telling you.
So, hey, can I go anywhere but that one, please? Because it's droops like a droopy dick.
Well, look at that.
Yeah.
It's not drooping like your dick.
Alright.
Rolling your eyes.
You're gonna make me have to cut so much. Keep talking off mic, I dare you.
Cut?
Yeah.
As in your wrists?
Well, now. No, the
Oh,
fucking
you mean the,
from the fucking podcast.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Alright, let's ask a question. Have you
Yeah.
ever created a voodoo doll?
No.
No. Okay.
Don't look at me. Yeah.
I haven't.
Okay.
Bree has. I haven't.
I didn't ask Bree.
Was Bree
Just saying.
4 years old?
No. She was 22 whenever it happened.
Okay, so this is post negative energy in her house. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's gloss over Bree's voodoo doll.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about what she did. Let's see. I just saw a good one. Fuck. Oh, if you were stuck as the protagonist in any horror movie, which would you choose?
Protagonist, that's like the favorite.
Yeah, that's like the main character. I pick Ashley J. Williams from Evil Dead because all my friends die, but I don't.
That's a
That means you
great
die too,
question. I'm
unfortunately.
really pondering on that one.
I think I'd want to be one that, like, actually dies.
Cool.
I want to be cool and kill people with a chainsaw attached to my hand and shoot people with a shotgun and not have to worry about the repercussions.
If I could be the protagonist in any horror movie. Zero. Life's a horror movie. No. Damn it. That's
all my
a great
favorite
question.
horror movies, it's like the
I keep thinking
protagonist
of
has an awful outcome.
Yeah, I keep thinking of
Like,
slashers.
for specific, that one.
True. Yeah. The Thing is a. No, I don't want
He
that.
freezes to death and oh my god. Why'd
Yeah.
you do that? He went.
He just barely touches you. Yeah. The
He made a noise. He
Cats
went,
scare the shit out of you. When we were watching that movie, I had my hand up on the couch, and Tater pounced on my hand in the middle of a scary scene, and I almost fucking sent him for a whirl.
Dude, you remember when we were sitting here and Hayden was fucking about to throw up but never threw up, and I did that at Honey Bun, and she just fucking launched
Jumped,
herself
yeah.
3 feet into the air.
She
It was
fucking launched.
funny. She went, "Wah!"
The movie that keeps coming to mind is like, oh, you know what? Chucky.
The little
Which
kid.
one?
Oh, do I have to be the little kid? I
You're
don't know.
the
Can I be
protagonist.
me? Or
No, you're
damn,
you're playing as the protagonist.
maybe Laurie Strode.
She, I mean, she gets to live most of her life after the first Halloween movie.
But I can tell you that in my life, if this is a person, and like if it's my brain in Laurie Strode's body, I'm that 60-year-old woman with all the guns, but I'm 20. Okay, and so like, yeah, dude, I will make like I'd be Will Smith and I Am Legend, but like
Oh.
instead, I'm Laurie Strode. Like,
Instead, I don't blow myself up with a
I would-
grenade.
I would be Lorraine Warren from The Conjuring.
Oh.
Hey, there you go.
this fucking guy over here. What the fuck?
What?
You chose like probably the scariest fucking person to be. This
Wait.
motherfucker just
That is
gets
kinda
like,
facts.
yeah,
That'd
just
be
kind of has
terrifying
like
to
the
be her.
nun come
But she
at
also
her.
lives.
No, like she lives.
She did die as an old woman.
She helps people with her
Yeah.
visions. Like, I already be seeing things, so it's like somewhat already. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it'd be an easy one to do. Like something easy to live with.
Also, Scream. Scream would probably be pretty
I want to
easy.
be
The-
a scary movie.
Yeah, scary movie. Any of the
Yeah.
scary movies.
And see, I'm over here thinking Saw. I want to be John Kramer.
Oh my gosh.
I would be John Kramer.
Is John Kramer a protagonist?
In Saw X, he is.
Isn't that the old dude?
Yeah, that's
Isn't that the
Jigsaw.
old dude?
He's the protagonist in Saw X because he gets cancer.
Spoiler alert. He's had cancer the entire fucking
Yeah,
series.
okay. This takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2, and he has cancer. He goes to Mexico, and they fuck up at this. They say that they took out his tumor or whatever the fuck was causing his cancer, and then they didn't. And he's like, "All right, fine. I'm gonna do my thing with all of you people."
So that's what started his fucking.
No.
No, he already did it. This was just like a little like intermission between the
Oh.
main series.
Okay.
Can
She's gonna explain it better.
So-
Spoiler alert for Saw X, by the way. If you're not
What
fucking smart enough to get that by now.
what originally started John Kramer was his son got killed in a car crash.
Okay.
Like not killed in a car crash, like an actual car crash, but like his son got run over by a drunk person.
Reindeer. Oh, I was trying to finish
Too
it.
early in the season.
Everyone's like, "I gotta get to Christmas now."
All right, go
And
ahead.
then he had a wife at the time and she was pregnant and her bump got hit by a door whenever she was going into the hospital and she miscarried. So that's what originally started the whole career
Oh, I
of
get
John
it. I get
Kramer.
why this dude's so angry, but also, you killed Chester Bennington, man. That's pretty balls.
Before he killed himself.
Yeah, damn it. That's pretty balls on him. But also, I get it. I get your anger, but like, take it out on somebody
Not
else.
Chester.
Oh, well, I get no. That movie's not a horror. It's like
What is it?
suspense. I was thinking Law-Abiding Citizen.
I haven't seen that.
It's not horror. It's suspense. I'd be him though. His wife and daughter get killed in front of him, and then he just unleashes hell on everyone
John Wick.
involved, pretty much. But like, there's a guy that he basically dresses up as a cop and is like calls like this guy, and he's like, "Here's how you're gonna escape from the cops." That guy runs away, and he's like, "There's a cop in this car over here. You're gonna sneak into that and grab his gun." And the guy like follows his orders, grabs the gun, and acts like he's gonna shoot him. And when it goes to shoot him, a tranquilizer dart comes out of the gun and like spikes the guy with the gun. And
Oh,
so
is it
then
like fucking
he's-
in old school whenever Will Ferrell gets shot with the
pretty
twin
much,
gun?
yeah, pretty much. But like he does like he gets like this venom that from a pufferfish, and like you feel everything but you can't move. And so that guy dismembers the guy that killed his wife.
Oh my
Like,
God.
and he like puts a mirror up, so he's like, now you get to watch you be fucking ripped apart. You're gonna feel everything, but you can't move. And like, I'd be that
That
guy.
was wild.
That would be not because that guy was fucking smart as shit, and
He
also like he
was.
was getting back at the system that fucked him in every way possible. Sorry.
That was a good choice.
but I don't think it's horror. So
It's a
I will say
psychological
for
thriller.
my scare,
Close
like
enough.
considering that I was so scary or so scared of Michael Myers as a child, to choose Laurie Strode feels
Yeah.
progressive for me.
That's so funny.
Like I would cry if my brother brought his doll out. He had a doll that was Michael Myers, and if you touched the chest, it would play the music. And if I just heard the first note of that music, I was like, "Ah!" like fucking scream, "Mom! Like, tell Jesse to stop it. He's an asshole."
My sister used to have a doll that scared the shit out of me for no reason. It was this little pig doll that wore like pink. It had like pink hat on and pink dress. And it was just this little weird doll with button eyes. But I don't know what it was. But like every time I saw it, I was like, I don't like that fucking doll. I don't like that fucking doll. And then eventually she was like, fine, I'll get rid of the fucking doll, Ben. Jesus.
Stop bitching about her.
I don't know why I didn't like the doll, but I didn't like the doll.
I get it.
I don't like dolls.
I had a Raggedy Ann doll that I was in love with. As
What?
A kid.
Do you have more questions? You have a
I'm
Raggedy
hungry.
Ann doll?
Yeah, I used to. It was in my grandma's attic at her old house.
We have a
But a lot got lost. Like after she passed away, and my grandpa moved, and they like got rid of a lot of stuff. So I feel like it got lost somewhere in there. But yeah, I loved that thing. I dressed up as Raggedy Ann for Halloween, and yeah. Anyway,
right on.
yeah,
The real Annabelle.
yeah.
That is Raggedy Ann doll.
That is funny.
I don't like that.
My little sister sleeps next to a couple of them, and she's like, "I don't like these." I was like, "I get it.
They all stay
Relax."
on top of her bunk bed.
Does the sight of blood make you squeamish?
No.
No.
Yes, my own. My own blood makes me squeamish. Like when they're drawing blood.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Shout out to White Goodman. No, it does not. That's why I was
Alright.
willing to go in the medical field forever. What about you?
I'm not scared of blood. I like blood.
She's strange.
That's why you watch Saw and shit.
That is.
I'm
That is.
not. I'm not.
I
A,
can't.
I'm not
I
a
can't
gore
argue.
fan.
Like I get
love
excited when I play Mortal Kombat because I like doing the fatalities. That's the whole reason I like it.
I love gore because a lot of it is so like clearly fake. Like it's not the most realistic blood I've ever seen in my life nearly every time, you know?
I'll tell you what was
Like
fucking
it's like
jarring.
bright red. You know?
Fucking Killers of the Flower Moon. That was fucking jarring every time anybody
Well,
died on screen in that movie
That
because
was
they
like
just
Quentin
fucking shot him.
Tarantino, like graphic, but they just like
It was realistic, is what it was, because it
Yeah,
was
as
like
soon as you
because they just
shot
pull the
him.
trigger like there's no blowback, there's
Speaking to a
nothing,
mic.
I'm
nothing
just-
fucking
you can
crazy
hear me.
happens. They just go, and they're done.
It's not like a
As-
fight for your life. It's just like and no hesitation. It's just like they get shot in the back of the head and then they're done.
What your body actually does
Yeah.
when you get
They
shot.
just
yeah.
go and go limp.
Yeah.
And then you have
That
like
was a
she was
good
saying,
movie.
fucking Quentin Tarantino. You have fucking Jamie Foxx shoot someone in the shoulder with a revolver and it blows their arm off and blood goes everywhere.
Tarantino loves excessive blood.
It
though.
is
It's kind of
fun.
his thing. That's the gore I can deal with. Is the funniness of that, like, because it's just so overt. It's funny versus like I'm watching a man cut his own leg off and it looks kind of realistic. That's
Yeah, it does.
yeah. It's
I think it's just like in my mind I know it's not real. Every movie it's based on a true story, but it's not the true story. So it's like I don't know. None of it really terrifies me too much.
Wait, so
all right. So last night when we were recording this, the computer that I was recording this on ran out of storage. We now have that taken care of because I'm kind of fucking dumb and forgot to connect the terabyte whenever we were doing the podcast. But luckily, it was at a pretty good ending point. And I just want to say happy Halloween. Thank you guys for your patience. We're sorry that it's been so fucking long. We had multiple fucking issues when it comes to just fuck ups on our end, the computers being pieces of shit, and I am not a technologically savvy person, and so basically learning how to podcast has been all from scratch. And thank you guys very much. I hope it was entertaining. I hope you felt And, I just happy Halloween, guys. All right, thank you very much, and love you. Stay spooky. Also, stay stripping. That's an old school reference for you old fucks.